You're not going to find it in the scriptures. But you know why you can't understand these scriptures? Because you're beast. You're straight up beast. All right? But now we're going to get into that a little bit later. Now I want to change gears. I want to go to Isaiah, the 14th chapter. And let's start at the 5th verse. The key point goes into the 8th verse. Actually, the whole scripture is good. I really want to start from the top, but because of time, we're going to start from the 5th verse.
Isaiah chapter 14 verse 5. The Lord hath broken the staff of the wicked and
who's the wicked? Esau. Cain. Go ahead.
And the scepter of the rulers. He who smote the people in wrath with a continual stroke.
Yeah, when this man came into power, did he love everybody? Did he bring gifts to people? He beat the hell out of them, man. When he first came to the Americas, what did they do? They came with Christianity, right? What was their form of Christianity? Killing their asses, man. Beating the hell out of them, raping their women, killing the babies. Anywhere they went on the planet Earth, they always came in peace and democracy, and we're doing it for your women because you're not treating your women like you fucking treat your women right. Go ahead.
It says, he that ruled the nations in anger is persecuted.
You didn't rule people in love. Go ahead. When Columbus came over here, there was a statement that was made where he said, in all his journeys to the New World, he said he couldn't put his, I'm paraphrasing, he couldn't put down his arms, no, not for an hour. So when you have your arms in your hand, your sword, your gun, your knife, your bow and arrow, if you constantly got it in your hand, that means you constantly what? Using it. Go ahead.
It says, he that ruled the nations in anger is persecuted, and none hindereth. The whole earth is at rest and is quiet. They break forth into singing. Yea, they break forth into singing. Yea, the fir trees rejoice at thee, and the cedars of Lebanon, saying, since thou art laid down, no feller is come up against us.
Read that part about the trees again. We're going to find out that these trees are talking about actual nations. Go ahead.
Verse 8. Yea, the fir tree rejoice at thee, and the cedars of Lebanon, saying, since thou art laid down, no feller is come up against us.
Now we're going to prove that. Give me the book of Ezekiel, the 31st chapter. The key point is in the 8th verse. Let's go up a couple of verses.
Ezekiel chapter 31 verse 5. Therefore his height was exalted above all the trees of...
You know what? Start at the 4th verse.
4. Okay, verse 4. The waters made him great.
Start at the top so they can get the under. Like I said, the key point is in the 8th verse, but I want you to get this understanding. Go ahead.
Ezekiel 31 and 1. And it came to pass in the 11th year, in the 3rd month, in the 1st day of the month, that the word of the Lord came unto me, saying, Son of man, speak unto Pharaoh king of Egypt, and to his multitude, who art thou like in thy greatness? Behold, the Assyrian was a cedar in Lebanon, with fair branches, and with a shadowing shroud, and of an high stature, and his top was among the thick boughs. The waters made him great. The deep set him up on high with her rivers running round about the plants, and sent out her little rivers unto all the trees of the field.
Now these trees, you read it and you think it's talking about trees and leaves and stuff. It's talking about people. Because it mentioned who? It mentioned the king of Syria, right? It mentioned the king of Egypt. So we know it's not talking about actual trees. Go ahead.
It says, the waters made him great, the deep set him up on high with her rivers running round about his plants, and sent out her little rivers unto all the trees of the field. It says, therefore his height was exalted above all the trees of the field, and his boughs were multiplied, and the branches became long because of the multitude of waters when he shot forth. All the fowls of heaven made their nest in his boughs, and under his branches did all the beasts of the field bring forth their young, and under his shadow dwelt all the great nations. Thus was he fair in his greatness, in the length of his branches, for his root was by great waters. This verse 8. The cedars in the garden of the Most High could not hide him, The fir trees were not like his boughs, and the chestnut trees were not like his branches.
Now you should think about Adam right now. Read that part again in the 8th verse.
It says, the cedars in the garden of the Most High could not hide him.
Remember, these were people. These were nations. Go ahead.
The fir trees were not like his boughs, and the chestnut trees were not like his branches, nor any tree in the garden of the Most High was like unto him.
How did it go from Egypt to Assyria? Because this word, this Bible, the word of the Most High, Yahweh Shem Yahushai, is written in the parabolic form. You can read the first verse and then 2 verses later it's talking about something totally different. So now, based on the key words that we just read, it's not talking about the king of Syria no more, or Assyria. Go ahead.
It said, the cedars in the garden of the Most High could not hide him. The fir trees were not like his boughs, and the chestnut trees were not like his branches, nor any tree in the garden of the Most High was like unto him in his beauty. I have made him fair.
Remember, this is referring back to the garden eastward in Eden, and it is not talking about the people being in the garden, because the garden was closed. Go ahead.
It says, I have made him fair by the multitude of his branches, so that all the trees of Eden that were in the garden of...
Now it mentions Eden. Go ahead.
So that all the trees of Eden...
all the nations, all the peoples, go ahead.
That were in the garden of the Most High envied him.
Envied him. So you should think about Adam. You should think about Eve. You should think about the sons of Adam, which are the sons of God. The Adamites, for lack of a better term. Go ahead.
Therefore thus saith the Lord power, because thou hast lifted up thyself in height, and he hath not shot up his top among the thick boughs. Excuse me. And his heart is lifted. Sorry, Salakia. And let me read that again. Therefore thus saith the Lord power, because thou hast lifted. Salakia.
Satan jumping on everybody. Go ahead.
Because thou hast lifted up thyself. Salakia.
See, the spiritual demon Satan doesn't want this to come out. Go ahead.
Therefore thus Satan be gone. Therefore thus saith the Lord power, because thou hast lifted up thyself in height, and hast shot up his top among the thick boughs, and his heart is lifted up. Excuse me. In his anger, heart is lifted up in his height. I have therefore delivered him into the hand of the mighty one of the heathen. He shall surely deal with him. I have driven him out for his wickedness. And the strangers, the terrible of the nations, have cut him off and have left him upon the mountains. And in all the valleys, his branches are fallen, and his boughs are broken by all the rivers of the land. And
basically, that's talking about Israel, because who came out of Israel? Who came out of Adam, rather? The nation of Israel, the people of Israel, all right? Now, I'd like to read it to get me Genesis, the 3rd chapter. The key point is in the 7th verse. I'd like to read the elder to get me, start the 4th verse.
All right, Genesis chapter 3, verse 4. And the serpent said unto the woman, you shall not surely die, for the most